Hey everybody, it's me, Zach. This is Judy, and welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and today this is probably not going to be like the haha hee hee hoo hoo silly game, okay? It's going to be a little bit more of a serious video. I'm going to have a little bit more of a serious tone, and I think for good reason. Like, I just wanted to come on and like have a direct chat with folks about things happening in our little corner of the internet world. You know what I'm saying? If you follow Chantal, AMBERLYNN, and company, then you know the past like 24 to 48 hours have kind of been a roller coaster. For a good amount of time, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to talk about any of it. I don't know if I'm going to talk about a lot of it. I don't know if what I'm gonna do with it, but what I will say is a lot of people a lot of people have been in my DMs and tweeting at me and talking to me on Twitch and whoever, whatever, wanting my opinion on some things that happened. So I figured the best way for me to just like answer as many questions as possible is I could put my thoughts and feelings and everything into one space, and in the space that the most people come to watch me. Okay, so that's what we're doing here today. I guess I'll get things started off very quickly by just addressing Chantal and what's going on with her. If you didn't know, trigger warning if you have any kind of relation to substance abuse or things about substance abuse are hard or challenging for you. But she did, like 48 hours ago, 24 hours ago, last night, when I don't, you know, within recent history, she came onto a live stream and talked about how she has been addicted to a particular substance abuse, aka Coca-Cola, and how she's struggling with that. Now, I did tweet about this, but since everybody who follows me on YouTube does not necessarily follow me on Twitter, I just thought I'd put this message here for you all so that you all could see it. I'll even just probably read it straight through, but I'll have it up on the screen as well. So I said, I know there are several feelings about Chantal's admission to her substance abuse issues last night. My personal feelings are that I hope she gets help, and I hope that anybody who is triggered by her behavior will step away from her content and focus on what they need for help. And then I said, I'll be sticking by what I said in this video, and I won't be making any dedicated content in relation to her substance abuse. Take care. And so when I say dedicated, I'm not making a whole video about it. This is as much as you're gonna get. I will probably continue to cover Chantal. This is not me not covering her, but I will say if there are particular things that are just dedicated to her talking about this particular issue, I don't intend to make content about it. I personally grew up in a small town where there were many issues with substance abuse. It was a challenge that many people faced. And I just like have seen firsthand how these things can affect people. And I don't really consider that tea, drama, whoever, whatever. And I just really don't want to talk about it more than what I have right now in this moment. You know what I'm saying? It was all fun and games, kind of, maybe, when it was like edibles. Listen, I've done edibles. I don't think that marijuana and things like that are the end of the world, especially as now we're seeing that it's becoming legalized in a lot of parts of the world and things like that. So that was one thing, but now it's clearly on a different level, and this is as much as I want to say about that. I hope you all will understand that, respect that, feel that. I don't know, there's going to be all kinds of things that come up on the internet that I have different levels of comfort engaging with, and I think that's probably the same for a lot of you who watch this kind of stuff too. I've had a number of people who told me they stopped like checking in on Chantal's videos a while ago, and some of you may have just now made that decision. Some of you may continue to keep watching, and I think that that's great. To whatever comfort level you have with that, that's a decision you can make. As far as things go for me, I'm not going to say a lot more about that outside of I wish her well, I hope she gets help, and I hope that if you are somebody that struggles with those things, that you are able to access some resources to help you out with that as well. Now, obviously, the other big thing that's happened in terms of YouTubers that I cover on my channel is AMBERLYNN's relationship with her long-term partner, Becky. Now, I do feel like I need to go address things that I've already tweeted about this, because I just know some folks are going going to bring up, but you said XYZ things on Twitter. And I think all of those things still stand. In fact, somebody even took a screenshot of my tweet today and sent it to me in a DM and said, this didn't age well. But I think when I read it to you, hopefully you'll understand that it did age just fine. So yesterday morning I tweeted, I honestly find some of the speculation about AMBERLYNN and Becky's relationship to be kind of cringe. If it happened, whatever, but folks are really running with a screenshot of a comment from an account with no avatar and AMBERLYNN's Instagram bio changing. And I get it, AMBERLYNN is baiting people to speculate with her vague postings and stuff. It just feels like folks are putting a lot of merit into things we have no way of verifying. Perhaps it's just best to wait and see what AMBERLYNN says is going on, especially if it's something else, i.e. cancer related or somebody passing away. At this point, even though it is a vague post, she is doing what people asked her to do. She's giving a heads up to her subs that she may not be able to do a live on Tuesday. And then I did get a little bit of feedback from folks saying like, hey, in the past you've speculated a lot yourself, like how dare you? How dare you ask people not to speculate? And so I did add an additional tweet that said, also things that are fair. I've been quick to speculate in the past. I have also changed the way that I approach my content and covering drama on YouTube a lot, even within just the past year. And I understand that it is tempting to speculate. I'm just offering another perspective. And I think that is true. Like, I hope that if you've been following me for a long time, that especially within the past year, I've really changed how I cover specifically AMBERLYNN and Chantal, but also just like other things that I do on my channel. Like, I've tried to draw some boundaries on what I do and do not want to talk about, how I talk about things. And one thing that I feel like has always been important to me, whether that's been clear to everybody or not, is that I care about how people feel, period, okay? And there are a lot of things that it doesn't do any good to sit here and speculate about. Now, I do, like I said in those tweets, I do think that, you know, it's somewhat fair, and I know I've used this logic in the past, that like AMBERLYNN is a public figure, and what she puts out on the internet sure is available to some level of scrutiny. I think that's fair, just as it's fair for folks to provide me scrutiny, criticism, and feedback. I get that, no worries on my end. I feel you there. But I was just thinking, like, at the time, like, people were really running wild with like every little minor like piece of what they felt like was evidence to confirm that Becky and AMBERLYNN were broken up. And I just kind of felt like, hey, if this happened, we're gonna know about it sooner rather than later, right? Like we're gonna find out if they broke up. Like maybe we shouldn't just like wish the worst on their relationship. And then also like, wow, what if it's something worse than that? And like, are we going to feel silly? And I do say that with hindsight in my mind of things that have happened in the past on the internet, things that I've discussed in the past. And I also, during all of this between Chantal and AMBERLYNN in this past 24 hours, I've been thinking a lot about where I was a year ago when it came to covering AMBERLYNN specifically when she announced that she had cancer. Now, if you don't remember, last year I was in a not great place in the month of June. It's always a hard month for me anyways because it's when my dad's birthday is. It's also Father's Day. It's also Pride. And all of those things are a lot because my dad passed away before I ever came out to him and things like that. So that is already a lot. But then also a family member of mine last June was going through essentially pretty much the same thing that AMBERLYNN was going through, and that was difficult. And there's also a lot of things happening in the world, and specifically in the US at that time, and the pandemic. And so I myself like separated from even just doing any kind of content on YouTube. But when I came back, I really decided I was going to change at a minimum how I talked about AMBERLYNN, and I even took a break for a while from covering any kind of AMBERLYNN content just because I felt like there was more that needed to be considered, and like maybe every single thing that AMBERLYNN does in the world doesn't need covered or a YouTube video or whoever, whatever. So I hope that people can see that like I'm trying to change as I'm covering things. But saying all of that, it felt really personal to me last year seeing AMBERLYNN go through something that I was watching a personal family member of mine go through at the same time. I just wanted to say that it kind of feels a little bit like that again today. I mean, I already talked about the substance abuse thing, but what I have to say is my personal relationship, my romantic relationship I'm in is in a great place. It's in a good place. But when I think about AMBERLYNN and Becky, they started, and this is wild that this is even like a parallel timeline in my life, okay? But they started dating at the same time that Noel and I started dating. Now, I think they made things official a lot quicker than Noel and I did. That's kind of like a stereotype amongst lesbians and the queer community, is that they move very quickly. So I think that they made it official way quicker than we did, and they moved in way quicker than Noel and I did. Like, Noel and I didn't move in until literally last, what was that? Was that September? I think Noel moved in with me in September, so that we didn't move as quick, but that's like 4 years, okay? That's a 4-year long relationship is a lot of time to spend with somebody. It just really truly is. And so I guess also what needs to be said is that while I was seeing people report on this or like speculate on this or whoever, whatever, I was just like, I would hate for somebody to do that to me. Now, granted, I would probably not vague post about it, right? If something ever happened in my relationship, I probably wouldn't just put vague posts up for speculation. Like, I'd probably just wait until I was ready to share with somebody. But I don't know, it hit me. I was like, I can imagine what it's like to be in AMBERLYNN's shoes. And I hope that this video is making sense to people, because I usually, especially if I'm just gonna sit down and talk at the camera instead of like react to something, I usually do type up some kind of outline, but I didn't do that today. I'm just talking. I guess what I'm saying is I could relate to that, especially now being in the public space. Like, this is also something that has changed about me, right? When I started doing this, I wasn't really a public figure, but now I do have a little bit more information about what it is like to be in a public lens, and you know, I just wouldn't want that for my own relationship. And so I think I'm considering some things like that, and I know people are gonna say, yeah, but Zach, you and AMBERLYNN are not the same. Like, AMBERLYNN does XYZ PDQ things, and that's fine. I'm just offering another perspective on this is a person's private life, and you know, I think to some extent, even if she's in a public space, she is welcome to have her privacy until she's ready to talk about it. And guess what? I guess all of this to say is she did confirm it. She and Becky went live. If y'all missed it, she went live today on June 29th and confirmed it to the world that it is in fact something that happened. So, you know, I feel a little bit better about talking about it now, now that it's not speculation, now that it's confirmed. We have an official statement from AMBERLYNN and Becky themselves, you know. So there is that as well, okay? It's a little bit different now that she's opting to put it out into the world. And so when people are like, Zach, we need a video on this, I literally, several people were like, Zach, please make a video, we need your thoughts. I was like, I really don't have anything, like, I feel like people expect me to be critical of all kinds of things. They expect me to come into things and just like drag a person, but that's I really don't have any criticism. Like, I think it's healthy for people to amicably separate, and it sounds like that's what's happening. Like, it sounds like maybe it was initiated by Becky, but at the end of the day, they're both coming to terms and doing it, seems like, peacefully. And I think that's fine. And I hope that they have the space that they can do that. Now, there are a few things that I noticed that I was watching the live stream as it happened, okay? So I was watching the people in the chat, and I did notice a few things that I think I'll just address because I assume that they'll come up in my comment section as well. One of the things, and this is the only part that I have any kinds of notes on, okay? One of the things is a lot of people were like, how's AMBERLYNN gonna take care of herself? I think that rubs me the wrong way because one, like, let's say that Becky does do a lot of stuff for her. Like, let's make that assumption. AMBERLYNN's gonna find a way. Like, AMBERLYNN will find a way. She'll have to find a way. It is what it is. Like, she's an adult. She's 30, okay? She will figure it out. But two, I just like, it feels like to me there's so much assumption there that she can't do things. Now, granted, she has talked about how she doesn't like to go out and about into the real world and how she doesn't like to go do those things because, I mean, I think right now it's because she's afraid because of the pandemic, which I think is relatable, and I think everybody has a different comfort level with what's going on with the ongoing pandemic that, yes, still exists. And I think that that's real. But, you know, I think she's going to figure it out. She's going to have to, right? Like, I don't know what else to say about that, but I think she'll figure it out. And I have a feeling she's going to start showing whatever that plan is in some vlogs because she's got to make this money. Okay, so I'm pretty sure she's going to give us an answer, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You know, do you feel me? Another thing is that I feel like a lot of people like tried to make this about the pets. From what I understand, from what I took from the live stream, AMBERLYNN's going to be keeping all of the pets. Granted, they are still living together for a short amount of time, which we can get to that point too. But the pets are sticking with AMBERLYNN, and I saw a lot of people have a problem with that, and they said that they were concerned that she wouldn't be able to take care of them, which I guess is maybe going along with the first point I made about taking care of herself. And so I guess it would naturally follow that if people don't think she can take care of herself, that she can't take care of her pets. But I was even talking about this in my Twitch stream with some people, and they're like, but Zach, how is she going to take Twinkie on walks? And I was like, I mean, love will find a way. Like, I truly think it will. And also, a lot of people are like thinking she needs to go on like long ass walks with Twinkie every day. We're talking about a like 10-pound Chihuahua. Okay, no Chihuahua is trying to go on a 12-mile hike, okay? Let alone like a mile hike. I think about my own dogs, and Poe has a lot of energy, so we do take him on some longer walks sometimes. But Judy is fine with a walk around the block 3 times a day, and she's good. She's chill. It's not like Twinkie is a husky or a golden retriever or a lab. Like, it's not like Twinkie is an active dog. Now, a little bit of exercise is probably, yes, worthwhile, but I think AMBERLYNN will figure it out.
I also just wanted to say that, like, literally AMBERLYNN has had all of these cats before she ever had a relationship with Becky, and I think it's just as, like, kind of not great for the dogs, or for the dog and the cats, to literally be pulled away from, like, the owner that they've known for, like, the majority of their lives.
And then I guess there's just the point about, like, a lot of people seemed really bothered by this, like, idea that, well, 2 things. That, 1, that they were going to remain friends, and 2, that they weren't both immediately moving out and, like, separating from each other. And I guess the thing about continuing to be friends is, I don't know, this might be because, I don't know, there's like not the same perspective if you're not queer, although I know that AMBERLYNN and I both have a lot of like queer audience members, so I'm not saying this is entirely just like straight people getting it wrong, but like from my experience of being in the queer community, there's, especially in a place like Kentucky, there's probably only so many other gay people, right? And you probably only have so many friends that you can handle having, or like if you want to be friends with queer people, there's only so many people there, right? So like it would make sense that if you didn't have any major like conflicts, right? Like you're not in like an abusive relationship, for instance, it would make sense that like why not stay friends. Now Noel's the only person I've like full on officially been in a relationship with, but I can think of at least one guy that I went on dates with that I didn't ever end up having an actual relationship that I continued being friendly with after we decided that a relationship wasn't going to work, right? So to me, it doesn't seem that weird because I'm like, I want whatever gay friends I can have. But I guess I suppose like I understand why other people might not pick that for their relationship. And I think that it's important to remember that just because it doesn't work out for you, it might not work out for somebody else. And that's really up to them to decide. A lot of people also had thoughts about how they're going to continue living together. And I'm not totally surprised about this. I mean, I might be surprised if it's like a year from now they're still living together. But I think like a couple months to try to get things sorted out, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. I mean, I don't know what I would do if all of a sudden Noel was like, things are over, and I would guess we would continue living. I mean, these are things I really truly haven't thought about, but I'm just like, I would think at least for a little bit so I could figure out what my next move was. Like, I don't know that I would have anywhere else to go. And if you think about it, Becky and AMBERLYNN just moved to a new city. Like, they haven't confirmed where that is or anything like that, but they did say that they moved into a new location, okay? So they both probably don't just readily have somewhere that they can go live and stay without like completely uprooting themselves, right? So I think just like keep some of those things in mind and let them share these things as they come. I don't know. I feel like that's going to be a little bit of an unpopular opinion in the AMBERLYNN universe. But I just know that breakups are hard. Breakups happen. If you've ever been through one, which I haven't, but if you ever have been, I'm gonna guess that you would want just some like space to figure out what that looks like. Now in AMBERLYNN world, she said she's gonna up the vlogs, so like maybe we'll find out about what these things look like, you know? Well, we're probably gonna see some of these things. And whatever she chooses to show, then great. But I also just want to point out that like almost all of these things that I pointed out that her live stream chat was saying repeatedly over and over and over again, it was very clear she was actively, for the most part, trying not to answer those questions. Like, she really didn't, even if they came in as super chats, she really didn't acknowledge them. And I think that that's maybe a sign that she's not ready to talk about those things, and we should give her space. I know. This is probably, I feel like people are going to be like, Zach, you're being too kind, you're being too nice. But this is just how I feel. I am but one YouTube channel with my own opinion. And if this isn't the tea for you, I feel that I'm sure there is some other reaction channel out there that's giving you exactly the feelings that you're giving. And I love that for you. But this is how I'm feeling about it. I really do hope them the best. Now, if you made it this far, there's one thing that I did think was particularly shady and particularly questionable and does leave me with questions about like, girl, why do you think that we are always like, what's the truth? What's the tea? We can't understand. Because she said this.
No, Becky. Mm-mm. Even with Destiny, I knew Destiny had some chick on the side, but that's a whole other story.
For the past 4 years, you have been trying to convince us that Destiny never cheated on you, that there was never a side piece, that there was never whoever, whatever. And now you're just like always asking why we don't trust you, why we don't believe you. And now all of a sudden, it's coming out that Destiny did have a side piece. I don't have much more to say about it than that. I don't really care if Destiny did or didn't. I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, that's all my thoughts are about that. I hope the best for AMBERLYNN and Becky as they go their separate ways, find new things to do, whoever, whatever. And yeah, That's all I got. Let me know your comments down below. Be respectful. Don't be a jackass. You know the deal. And also subscribe to me if this is your first time on my channel. Hit the bell button so you get notifications. Leave comments, hit like, click share. Follow me on all of my social media. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye!